If you do online banking or shopping, you are a potential victim of identity theft. Over 15 million Americans were victims just last year.
What do you mean, if you do online banking or shopping?
Yeah, everybody does. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, that makes us all potential
That's
victims.
right. There are warning signs that you may not be aware of that can protect you and your money. Local financial expert J.B. Bryant is here to share the signs and how to lessen your chance of becoming a victim. Hey, J.B.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
And yes, indeed, this can lessen the likelihood of that, how to prevent
We like
identity
prevention
theft.
because it's not a matter of if you become a victim. These days, it's almost when you
So
become
true.
a victim.
So sad. But the good news is that the federal government tax refund identity fraud is down by 50%.
Oh, that's great.
Last year, this time, we were talking about how many tax refund and how many identities were stolen during their tax returns and taking the refund before the other actual person could file. But that is down dramatically.
We always say nice things about the IRS.
That's right. That's right. They're our friends. And the reason it's down, Bill, is because they've set up these filters. And it made me think, wow, they're setting up computer filters. We need to set up personal filters to protect ourselves from identity theft.
And that's really hard because your basic identity is through your Social Security number, and that's everywhere. I mean, you know, your utility company asks for it, your bank asks for it. Even if you want to get protection, you know, a company will say, well, we need your Social Security number.
So
how
true.
can we protect that number?
So you have to look at not the big things, because the big things will be easy to identify. You want to catch this before there's something big that happens to you. So you want to look at little changes that you might see on your checking account. I've had an associate who said that there was a person that somehow got access to their debit card, and they were going across Europe buying little cab trips on a popular cab company. And the name came up and they said, what are they talking? I haven't been to Europe. And so when you catch those little things, because many times they're actually trying to see if you're conscious so that they can go and do something bigger with your identity. So by catching that and reporting it to the fraud department at the bank, immediately that card was destroyed. So look for the little things. That's a #1 tip.
So one of the things that happens as time goes on, we use less and less paper. So we're not getting that statement in the mail that we used to get, and
Good
we're able
point.
to go through it. So
Good point, because one thing that I suggest is to make sure you look out for your statement. But like you said, if you're getting it through email, you have to remember, when should I expect that email? When should I expect the actual mail? Because they could have gone in and changed your address. So if you didn't get your statement on time as you expected, then you really need to call the financial institution immediately and say, I didn't get my statement. And now you'll see if an address change is done, then you'll get a letter to the old address that says your address has been changed. So we really need to make a habit of opening our mail, being conscious. If you do the email, it's not a way to avoid mail. You have to really go in and check your email. Yes, indeed.
I always get suspicious too when I get mail at my house that's addressed to someone else at my address, and I just wonder if somebody's going to come and try to get it out of the mailbox and just using a fake address and or my ID.
I personally sure would have never thought about that, but that is a very good point, because that is a common thing that people just get packages. Like they'll get one thing to look out for is at your office or at home when you get a package that you didn't order and it says, here's your new computer, Cheryl. But they may actually, before they deliver that to your address, see if they, change their address so that they do get that document. That's a very good point. That could be a test. So we have to that's another way of looking out for the little things. You may get unwanted mail, unwanted deliveries, big red flag when you get an unwanted delivery in your name, because they may have stolen your financial identity and forgot to change the delivery address. So.
One of the, we started out talking positively about the IRS. I just found out, and I've seen these warnings, that the IRS does not call you on the phone. And so if you get a call,
that's true.
Yeah,
I'm so glad you pointed that out, because that is actually true. I mean, think about how busy they must be. But I have seen, and I know people that I've helped that have actually responded to people over the telephone. I was buying a gift card yesterday, and they were saying that people are telling people to go to the store, buy gift cards and send them. So that now they're checking your identity when you buy these gift cards and load them with money, and you have to answer a survey. Are you purchasing this for something that was, or have you been instructed to come buy this?
Right.
And
so
to make
looking
payment.
out for you.
Yes, they're making the actual seller help you protect yourself. But
so let's
that's a
talk
good
about
point.
some of the things we should do if you become a victim. What do you do if you find out this is happening?
Know that it's a crime. And I was speaking with one of your associates here, and I was telling him, he said, what's the topic today? I said, identity theft. And he said, and I said, over 15 million people are victims. He said, that sounds kind of low. And I think it is low because people don't think of it as a crime. Mm-hmm. So report it as a crime to the police department when you fall victim of it. Or report it immediately to the fraud department that is appropriate for it. Go call the bank. Talk to the fraud department, but call the police and do a police report, file a police report on that. And I've had to suggest that to people especially with the phone calls. When you're getting those calls repeatedly and they're asking you to do things, call the police immediately to protect yourself and to make sure, say, get me off your list. Don't ever call again. Be aggressive about it. But the bottom line is make sure that you learn terms like cybersecurity department, fraud department, filing police reports. Learn the right terminology and be very persistent. If they say, no, we don't want, you cannot file a report with us, be very persistent about it. You have to have someone that can help me with these type of issues.
It's your
and
identity.
Push it through.
Thank you, JB.
Push it through.
All
And you
right.
have to protect it.
Well, JB offers money seminars every Wednesday at noon, Sundays at 3 for business owners at her office. These workshops are free, but you do need to pre-register. We'll put a link to more information on how to get in touch with JB on our website. Just go to WTVR.com/VTN.